See you guys on the other side of about 2 minutes. We'll be live.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree, just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Tina Savage, did you get my message in regards to the engraving? We can get that done for you. Just, of course, there's an extra charge, but let me know and we'll see what we can do for you. If I didn't send it out already. Folks, we're going to try to introduce chat a little bit more. Olivia will help. We decided today that if you have a question, to put the letter Q in front of it. And it's the least used letter in our show, obviously, unless we have a bunch of cluckers come in here who are spouting conspiracy theory. And it's going to help because then I can do a search and I can find the comment and I can put it up just like that. So put in a Q if you have a question for me, and you don't need to type out, hey, Matt, blah, 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 blah. But that will help out. And if you want to say something offensive and derogatory about me too, you can just put Q as well, and I'll make sure that I get it.
That's very smart.
Yeah, because I can just do a search for it right here. All I got to do is just literally type in Q and hit search, and then boom, Victoria Robertson comes in there and goes as a smart ass and goes Q. And there.
I was waiting for someone to do that.
And there it is. That's simple. So that's, and then Olivia, like, somebody has a question, and then I can just hit Q, and then she didn't have to tell me and repeat it. Because it's kind of like we're on the USS Enterprise, Starship Enterprise, NCC 1701 or whatever it is for Star Trek. And it's like, all of a sudden the computer goes, Captain, the nuclear fission reactor and warp drive are overflowing at 0.7 volumes per cubic inch. And then all of a sudden Olivia's like, Captain, I don't even know what I said. The nuclear reactant fission chamber is, and it just repeats the computer. So it's going to be easier if she doesn't have to do that. So that's it. Put Q. There you go. Simple, easy, awesome. And we'll add the chat. I found a way to make the chat much bigger for me, which is great for my eyes. And it doesn't distract me. I can just look over real quick and I can see something. And I'm going to start putting these in here too. So people feel a little bit more, I don't know, appreciated. Also, there's a little, you can hear a little sound. You might hear it in the show, but Olivia can hear it and I can hear it. And that lets us know that there is a new message. And I don't think it picks up in the show. So it can help us If Olivia sends it or I send it, it won't pick up. But if it's a non-moderator, which means anyone outside this room and even our moderators on Facebook, we can still, like Lee right there, we didn't hear a little sound because he's a moderator. But anyone else who leaves a comment who's not a moderator right now, at this very moment, see, there it is. Chevelle's not a moderator.
I can't hear that in my headphones. Am I supposed to hear it in my headphones?
It's out here. You have to listen very quietly.
I heard a little that's
little
knocking noise or something like that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's the knocking
Got
noise.
it.
So it'll just be like, boop, or it's lower. And Chevelle, type something again, will you? Not Maureen, because she's a moderator. Hey, y'all. Hi, Chevelle. So somebody just type the exact same thing again. Just put it in there. Come on. Hurry up. So we can show Liv. Jeopardy music.
Yes. I gotta get
If I gotta ask, it's too late. Just forget it. Just it's over. Anybody? Bueller? We need one comment. Yeah, it didn't work. There it is. See? Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
like
that
a little knock.
Well, it's really subtle, and I don't think they can hear it. So we can hear it because it's playing outside those speakers, but it's so subtle that it doesn't pick up. So we've made some improvements. The nice thing is that you can see the chat box is really clear now, and it matches, and we have a little glow around our little edges of our square. So everything is, I think, very professional. So, Kate, Ramon, nobody likes smart Alex, and Victoria already one-upped you, so they don't get to do it anymore. So you need to stop. Tam, what's going on? Welcome. I think we got enough people on. Everybody's coming on. Good to see everybody. Let's rock and roll. Crazy day in the world of politics. We've got, well, first of all, at 8 o'clock, I think, I went on Deanna Lorraine's show today, and she's a part of the Stu Peters network. I'm not a fan of Stu Peters, and it's not like I don't know the guy. I just listen to his show, and I think it's overblown, overstated, fairly anti-Semitic and racist. And in this day and age, that actually means something if I'm saying it, because I simply don't talk that way. But then he also has some interesting things on occasion that I find interesting. So just like everybody, so everyone has value. Jody says 977K here. Is that dollars? We will accept that donation. Is it the amount of listeners you're bringing with you? Or is it the amount of illegals that cross the border today? Which one is it? Ernest says, I watched and listened to the trial. What do you take from the body language? Oh, we're going to go over it tonight. We've got to put Miss Willis on the stage tonight. We're going to do that. Also, do me a favor. Everybody follows on Facebook. Go over to Steve Garvey. There's a post I made with Steve Garvey, and you can see it. Don't Unfriend Me posted something. Steve Garvey was first baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I met him, Steve Sachs, Ron Say, Steve Yeager, Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser. Huge Dodger fan when I was younger. And I righted the course. Thank you very much. But I want to interview him. He's running for Senate, and he's running against Schiff, and I'm all about.
Ooh, yes,
I'm all about.
please.
So please go over there right now and go and say, "Hey, Steve, Matt loves you. Great show. Come on and see us." Because the more people that like it and actually interact and say something, a better chance he shows up. So do that for us. It's one of my favorite crayon eaters. How are you doing, Thomas? Thomas is in the house. And it's the end of Fanni. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the end of Fanni. We'll see. That would require progressives to hold her accountable. A conspiracy theorist podcaster, a little bit. Stu Peters, I think it's just simple to say that he has some very racist ideology. And that's it. And anti-Semitic language. There's a lot of them out there. But I went on his network because I'm not afraid to have. Listen, the host just said, "Hey, I want you to come on," last night, and said, "I want you to go ahead and do the dumbass awards for the week." So we talked about Kristen Stewart. We talked about DEI in with firefighters. We talked about a few other things, and I gave my opinion and told her what I thought. We laughed a little bit. We joked, and it was more humorous than serious. And it was fine.
I'm very interested to watch it.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. It was it's fine. And if she would have started saying, stuff that I disagree with, which she hasn't. She didn't say anything anti-Semitic or racist. And she strongly disagrees with the LGBTQ movement and the way that it's impacting kids. And I happen to agree with her. So we didn't disagree on anything. And if she invites me back, great. And if not, well then, hey, that's okay too. She was a nice lady, and I was happy to meet her. So I should have that on tonight. No, it's not Steve Peters. That's a question, Karen. You're supposed to put Q in front of that. Steve Peters. No, it's stew, as in a amalgamation of fresh ground vegetables that arrive from the terra firma, and a freshly slaughtered flank of a bovine, permeating with various spices in a degree of broth, with applied heat for anywhere from 3 hours to 24 hours of cooking, depending upon the device of your choice. Stew Peters.
Is it STU or STEW? Because that's just what you described right there.
Stew, STEW. It's Stew Peters, STEW.
Nice.
I mean, it might be STU. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's STU.
Stew then got it. Karen says,
soup.
dude, I think Karen's picture is hilarious. Karen, how old is that picture? I've said it before. Because you look like Karen Carpenter, not like skinny Karen Carpenter, but pretty Karen Carpenter. I've seen that picture 100 times. She's probably like, I'm 86. Whoops. Well, I tried. So I don't know if it's STEW or STU, but like I said, it comes down to this. Everyone's entitled to their beliefs, even a-holes. And I don't have anything negative. The man has never done me wrong. But like Nick Fuentes, I challenge some of the things he says. Dominic and I talked, Sarah. Dominic, you think I'm even going to step foot on that network without talking to Dom is the whole reason I'm at Spreely. So I talked to Dom. He's like, dude, he's like, you're the right guy for it. Go do it. And I did. And he knew that if there would have been any type of confrontation, which there wasn't, this was a great, very hospitable lady, very kind, very nice. She's a great host. I had an enjoyable time. I've listened to a few of her podcasts, and like everybody, there's things I agree with, there's things I disagree with, and who cares? If she needed to borrow $1,000, I'd find a way to take care of her. And I'm sure that if I needed a hot meal and a roof over my head, she would do the same. That's the great thing about being Christians and also being kind. I'm aware of what happened with Stu and Dom. I'm aware. And like I said, I talked to Dom first. So I got the sign off from the big Palooka. Palooka.
Big Palooka.
Palooka.
What does that mean?
A Palooka? Look it up. I don't know. But like I think it's probably like knucklehead or I don't know. Look up Palooka. It's probably, you hear from Italians, right? A Palooka. Here it is. Bearded stumbling Palookas in their peasant breeches. Oh yeah, that's Dom. So that's perfect. Bearded, stupid, clumsy, and uncouth. All the things that make up a good, wholesome Dom. Dom is very much all of those things. See, Sarah says Deanna Lorraine is amazing. And she was very kind to me. I liked her very much. She's not very fluffy. Like, she's not like, thank you so much. Which is fine because I'm not that way either. She's like, okay, well, that was it. Thanks. And I'm like, oh, bye. And it was awesome. So you might leave a conversation with her wondering if she likes you. But she wouldn't have had me on the show if she didn't. She's like, you do great things. She actually thought I was a writer for Fox News.
Ooh, that's cool.
Well, I sent her 2 articles, and the one that was all about, ICBMs and the Star Wars program. And I said, I wrote this. She's like, oh my God, you wrote that? And I said, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, she likes it. It's great. And then, so in the middle of the episode, she's like, well, he's a Fox News contributor. I'm like, what? I'm where? And I linked her a Fox News article in mine, and she thought I wrote the Fox one. And so that she's like, did you use an alias? I'm like, alias? It's right there. It says author Matthew Spear. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then when she introduced me, she's like, he's a contributor on Fox News. I'm like, does she? I'm not going to say anything. I'll wait till the end of the interview so she can cut it. And at the end, she came back from getting her kid because her kid it was great. She had her kids there. Just like us, right? I mean, it was great. And I'm like, no, please go get your kid. She got her kid, came back, and I said, hey, just by the way, I'm not a Fox News contributor. and whatever. And she's like, oh, that's great. It was fun. We laughed. We had some good times. And I thought we worked together well. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again.
Speaking of kids, I got to tell a little Ethan story. What he did today at school, because he's
you got to okay,
darn
go ahead.
cute. Okay, so he's had a crush on this little girl named Fiona for quite a while. And yesterday, for Valentine's Day, he asked her to be his Valentine. I was thinking that's asked him to be his girlfriend, but apparently it's not, just Valentine. So today at recess, he decides to ask her to be his girlfriend. And he used
and
he
hasn't stopped talking about that. He, like, every day he comes home. Finally, I just said, dude, is she pregnant? Or are you getting married? One of the two. I don't care. Otherwise, I don't want to know.
So he uses a pickup line. They were playing some tag game at recess, and he won the game. So they were walking in after the bell rang, and he goes up to her and he goes, I may have won this game, but can I win your heart? I was like, oh, dude, my God.
So if he gets a girl.
He's a smoothie.
He's a smoothie. If he gets a girl pregnant.
So darn cute.
He's just like his dad. And I said
that's
to him,
what's scary is about.
I said to him, I said, don't stop talking to women, dude. It's the hardest thing. You'll always have a date. They will always hook up with you. The thing is men are afraid to talk to women. I never was. I got over that quickly. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. They don't bother me at all. I'm like, good for you, buddy.
Although he was super embarrassed to tell us the story. I made him tell me.
Whatever. It's,
like I'm your
listen,
mom.
I saw the way that he looked at Maureen Baccarana, whatever her face is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And when, she came on screen, he was like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, I was going to see if there was a reaction, because usually he's just like, whatever. But he saw her and he's like, and I was like, yeah, buddy, see what I'm saying? Thumbs up, dude. And he's like, I said, uh-oh, boy likes boobies. We're in trouble.
Yeah, he's so much like you. It's just so scary.
It is. Well, he's much better looking than his dad. He doesn't have my giant head. So that's, and I don't know if he's going to be as tall as me. So we'll see. He may. I was just as skinny and just as small as him. I mean, that's what you've seen pictures. That's what I looked like when I was younger.
I think he will be. I mean, he's got, on all four sides of the family, he has got tall men that he comes from. So I
filled out. I got barrel chested, and I wasn't like that. I was a toothpick. I was a rail. Anyway, we got a lot to do, so let's get to it. We got quite a few people on. My allergies are killing me. I'm going to be scratching my nose the whole show. You'll be seeing me doing this. It's not a cocaine habit. Trust me.
I was just gonna say, is there something
Get
I
that
need to
guy
know?
away
or
from my
are
cocaine.
you going to share?
Did she say yes? Angie wants to know.
Yes, she said yes.
She said yes. She
Yes,
said
she did.
She said most assuredly. Amber says my sound going out. Amber, I don't know but maybe we can fix it.
Don't listen to
It's like a Japanese movie. You are going to stop. I fight you now.
Oh my God. Wow.
Snatch pebble from my hand. That's an Indian. I don't know what that was. Tonto, snatch pebble from hand. I teach you kung fu and the way of the white lotus. Didn't sound very right, did it? It'd be like, oh, I teach you the way of white lotus.
That's better.
Eat fish and rice. Good for you. $5. Okay, all right. We're going to get to it. That's enough racial stuff tonight. I don't think we can continue to do this. Yeah, I hope it comes on at 8.
It reminds me, deck the halls with boughs of
Rars
Rory.
of Rory. Hey, Avs are playing the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight.
Yes, they are.
Do you know what I found?
What?
That I can put a widget in that will show sports scores.
Ooh,
so
yay.
what I might do is just put that in, not for screw everybody else. It's for us.
Just for the Avs.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. We got some topics to do. Fanni Willis. Oh, she had a day. And there is a lot going on with this. Matt says, my 15-year-old daughter just left with an older boy. She says, just a friend. But she said, oh, darling, you got what I need. But you say she's just a friend. And you, oh, Biz Markie, man. Dude, that guy made millions off the worst song ever written.
I don't even know who that is.
Yes, you do. If you heard it, I just didn't do a good job.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that is.
What? James says, I love when Matt shows his comical side. You and Olivia spark off each other. Makes a great show. Whatever. I'm always funny. People just don't have senses of humor. I guess we spark off of each other. Is that when we're using the electric rod? When we're... Is that in the private bedroom time?
The cattle prod.
The cattle prod. Right. When I hook your nipples up to a 9-volt battery. Woohoo! Jumper cables. Shit. Like, honey, is that thing out of batteries? We don't need them. Ever ready. All right. You all are definitely funny and a great couple. Well, she can really be a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. But
you can
whatever.
be a pain in the ass too.
Wait, what's wrong with Spreely?
What does it say?
Is Spreely up?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Spreely needs to fix his hair stuff. Air stuff? Like air?
What?
Air.
Spreely needs to fix their stuff.
Melanie, what I've learned in my years is it's usually not the broadcaster, it's the recipient.
They're up. Go and try closing it out.
What's wrong with Spreely?
But I'm on text right now with a couple people. It's up and running.
Is there something wrong with Spreely? All right.
Not that I know.
You don't know who Biz Markie is? What the hell's wrong with you? Whatever.
Never heard of him.
Okay. That's... You haven't heard Say She's Just a Friend? Come on. Yes, you have. I'm sure you have. All right. Fanni Willis has a very long day. I'm just going to show you a couple of clips. And man, she's an angry cuss, you know? She's got a bit of a tood. And I don't mind if she does, but she's like, listen, I'm a district attorney, and all you provincial pricks need to stay out of my way. Start questions to Matt with, yeah, okay. Dorita's here. Dorita says, I've never seen a couple of yet that didn't truly love each other, that didn't have a little argument. A little? You should have seen it in the last 2 days. Oh, my God. Royal biznatch. And these people that say they never argue, yeah, they're liars. They're not married. Olivia, listen, there's time. Most of the time I'm the culprit. But the last 2 days, oh, yeah, she's been collecting knives. So it's definitely...
It happens once a month.
Just grumpy. It's not even that time of the month.
It's a week before, which means that's usually when it is.
You've been mean. Like, really. I re-roll your entire Diablo character and you throw a temper tantrum because you screwed up for 90 hours into the character and you get mad at me. Tina says, Olivia's got issues. Oh, yeah, she does. Thanks, Tina. I know. I know.
Not Olivia. Dick.
Oh, and then Tina says she's such a liar. Oh yeah, everybody's agreeing with me tonight. Thanks, everybody. This is so.
Dick sometimes.
Okay, dude. Someone ban Owasu Kennedy now. Ban this guy now.
Where's he on?
He's on Facebook. Ban him. Owasu Kennedy. Just get rid of him. Get rid of him. What a loser.
I don't know where he is. I can't see.
He's on Facebook.
Comments.
Somebody take care of this, please. Is this guy? Is this Jackanape? This guy. This guy.
Yes.
Someone get rid of this jerk.
I didn't see that comment.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Where's it at? Here it is.
Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
All right. Whoa, Dorita. I can't put that. That's way too. We can't do that in this show. Here we go. We've got stuff to do. Let's go ahead and do Fanni. We had so many questions. What was wrong with Fanni's Darrier?
Derriere?
Darrier, her ass.
Yes.
I think Darrier. I think it's not Darrier. It's Darrier, right?
It's Derriere, as far as I know.
It's French. It's French, so you have to say Darrier. You cannot say Darrier. What the hell, you stupid American? God, insolent American does not know our language. Stupid Bussimo. I don't think it's derriere. Oh, she got her derriere. You just call her a cow? Derriere. Derriere. That's how intellectuals say it. All right, I got to play this. Let me see if I can play this. Oh, come on. What is up with the internet lately? It's not even us. It's just Twitter and Facebook. They've all been very buggy. This is going to be a short show if we can't get this to play.
Always have cash at the house. That has been,
Here it is.
I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to, because I don't go on many dates. But when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
Except with Nathan Wade.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from? If it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is
Yeah, where did the $2,500 come for plane tickets and vacation reimbursement is what I want to know.
fungible. I've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you, I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but
6 months this lady went on vacations to like Aruba. Where else did she go?
They went to Belize.
Belize, Aruba. I mean, 6
They
months.
went to,
seven exotic. And, hold on, let me finish. 7 exotic places when she's a district attorney. Man, district attorneys don't get that much time off. Go ahead, Liv.
She went to Napa Valley, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I think they went to Florida too. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering, does the state pay her in cash? Because apparently she's got no receipts of where she gets this cash from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, it's like New Jack City over here.
I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work,
Yes,
sweat,
Debbie.
and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No. It's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from.
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
You know which job it came from. Did it come from Fulton County?
There's a lot
Poor
of Trump tears too.
baby.
I wish I could just sweat and tears, because honestly, after Olivia and I make love, there's a lot of sweat and I do a lot of crying afterwards, and I would make a considerable amount of money. So can I sign up for this? I mean, Fanny,
I would happen to agree with Tina's comment up there.
what did she say?
It was up
No.
on screen, and it was. Did she just admit that she paid him back with campaign funds?
Right. Yeah.
That's my first thought when she said that.
Yeah. Does anyone have a problem with the comments beeping like this? Does it bother people? Because it doesn't bother me. But if you want me to get rid of it, I can. You know what? Let me get rid of it. It doesn't need to be up there. If you guys can hear it. Now, some people can hear it because of hearing aids.
Well, now that it's not playing out of the speakers, you're playing a video, I can hear it in the headphones.
I just turned it off. There, see? Look how easy it is. I wish. Well, I'm wondering. This is Atlanta, so I'm just waiting for the strong arm robbery.
Exactly.
You know, and then for
it's
her to
gonna
play
happen.
victim. It was a bunch. They said this is MAGA country, and they threw Subway at me in bleach.
Gosh.
Okay, what was his name?
Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smollett. That's right, Juicy Smollett. Let's
It
listen.
was
to
Smollett.
I know.
What are you talking about? So it could have come from a private job, because before I was DA, I was in private practice. So I earned money during that time period. That's probably in there.
You don't know
It could
what-
have.
It could.
It could have.
It could have. How How do you not know where your money comes from? My gosh.
Well, she works hard for her money, so you better treat her right.
She works hard for
Oh, you know that song, but you don't
Yes,
know Biz
I do
Markie.
know that.
Great. Why don't you not sing it so we don't get like copyright infringement? Jeez
It's
Louise.
10 seconds that you can sing something, you don't get or play it.
No, that's our
said like
sex.
six
That's our
words.
sex life. And that last 3 seconds, don't give me so much credit. I'm not a thoroughbred. Here's the
That's
next.
true.
Here's the next one. This one's bad. Watch this. Maybe. I don't. I don't know why. Come on, X, Twitter, fix your stuff. All right, here it comes.
Last area, briefly.
Oh, come on. Why is it doing
Last area, briefly.
Oh.
You had contact with Mr. Wade in the year 2020, correct?
Ooh, I had some contact with Mr. Wade.
Would you explain when you say some contact? Please tell us, talking about 2020.
I had some contact with Mr. Wade in 2020. One of the reasons your allegations are so preposterous, or Miss Merchants that you have joined, is...
Ma'am, I didn't ask you about the allegations. I asked you about your contact. That's all I ask you, okay? I appreciate that.
There's a couple things. If you try to hurt my family or friends, you're going to be in a world of hurt. If you spit anywhere in my direction, we're going to have a problem. And if you shake your finger in front of my face, I swear to God, I will break that thing off and I will feed it to you. Posterior first. There's a guy at the breakfast diner. I can't go back in. Olivia knows, because if I see him, I'm literally going to pile drive his face into the table because he shook his finger at me. Don't you ever do this crap to me. My mother, and I wasn't able to hit her, and I never would. But trust me, that woman, right before she decided to physically abuse me, it always started with a finger. Don't put your effing finger in front of my face. That is my one trigger. Like, you can pull a gun on me, you pull a knife on me, call me all the names in the book, but if you put your finger in my face, it goes from 0 to 120 awful quick. I don't like that. So when she's doing this, no, you tell you Z formation, sweetie.
For someone who's an attorney, how disrespectful she was to the judge and the other attorneys in the courtroom. I'm shocked of the way she acted.
She's not a very nice person. Yes, Richard, you're absolutely right. Lying her face off, and now she's caught. And it's like, no. You got the wrong person. You want to hold Donald Trump accountable, not me. It's like, wait a second, lady. You're telling me it's not a conflict of interest that you brought your entire case and prosecuted it next to somebody that you were diddling and doing the beast with two backs with? Give me a break. That is a conflict of interest. Let me ask you a question. What if it was Donald Trump was sleeping, had an affair with the court reporter, or the what is it? The inscriptionist.
Oh, I don't know what they're called. I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Lady who hits keys very softly and does some weird stuff. That lady.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
The dictaho. The dictaho.
Dictaho?
The dictaho. When the dictaho's there, if Donald Trump slept with a dictaho, she's a dictist. That's what it is, a dictist. A dictationist. Dictationist? A dictionist. I don't know the name.
Would you like me to look it up?
Stenographer. That's right. That's what it is.
That's so darn close.
It was on the tip. It was on the tip of my laria.
So close.
All right, here's the rest. Now this is where it gets good. Listen to this shit. Stenographer. That's right.
To say something, but I'm interested in, did you have contacts with Mr. Wade in 2020? And your answer so far has been yes, correct?
My answer so far is I did not have sexual relationships with that chocolate chip cookie. I would not do that. Miss Lewinsky, can you please give me the definition of what it is? I don't understand. I can't answer that question, or otherwise I'll fall on some bullets. Hillary will make sure of that.
Very little contact.
Well, we started out with a cigar. See, I like to loosen things up, and I like aromatic cigars with the oily variety.
Because Mr. Wade,
You're gross. I was just talking about an aroma-filled cigar that has an oily undertone, and
it
you're
is not
making
a mental image
you're making
I
disgusting
want
jokes.
with Bill Clinton.
Disgusting jokes. Disgusting. It's always funny. People talk about grabbing by the hoo-ha when it came to Trump, but nobody said sticking a cigar in their hoo-ha with Bill Clinton. Isn't that interesting? Nobody's offended about that. Yeah, like say Alexander Wall, you put cigars in a humid hoe.
It's
a humid hoe. That's what it's called. Or
if
humidor.
if he's using a cigar,
A humid
he
whore.
must not be very well endowed, because if he's using a cigar, I just saying they're not that thick.
I don't know. Maybe he's so big that he has to use a small cigar because he can't. I don't know, man. Maybe he's hung like a bull moose. Maybe it's like a baby's arm. I don't know. Here it is.
form of cancer that makes your allegations somewhat ridiculous.
Oh, here we go.
I do appreciate the
I'm not going
characterization.
to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man. Did you understand that?
All right,
Well, I don't
let's
think
get
we should
back on
discuss
track.
further.
Mr. Sadow, next question.
Whoa.
Dude, this lady.
She just has an air of superiority, and she thinks she is better than every single person in that courtroom.
Yeah.
Just a witch with a capital B.
Can I show you what strong black women look like? These are strong women who don't need to put it where their mouth is. This is a great video. Watch this. Yeah. Gun rights are women's rights. Look at all those firearms. And wonderful trigger discipline. That's fantastic. Muzzles down, ladies. Very nice. Very nice. I think that's awesome. That and those are powerful black women. What that lady is, she's a freaking host on Jerry Springer. Like she's I'm gonna get my baby daddy out here. That's the type of woman she is. And
Yeah, she is a see you next Tuesday.
very much a see you next Tuesday. Those are the 4 letters that I would use to describe her. Yep. And what is she doing in the White House? It makes you wonder. She took a trip to the White House and talked to admin, talked to
Amazed
chief
it
of
wasn't
staff.
a tarmac on a plane.
Right. Well, that's the funny thing. It's like Joe Biden's like, I didn't know anything about this. I believe that because Joe Biden doesn't know anything about anything. But if you're going to sit here and pretend that this whole thing, every single person who knows any better, this is why his numbers aren't going down. It's staying the same because the people, it's baked into the pie. They just know that Donald Trump is kind of a little bit inconsistent when it comes to some of the practices that he does from a business sense. And just like they know Joe is old, there's not much mystery here. I don't think people care about these cases. I think people care about their wallets. I think they care about their tables and their food and their taxes. They care about the state of the country that we're going to send our kids to die in a war. I'm worried about that. With the way that the military is the draft going to pick back up? There's a lot of things I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about Donald Trump's court cases because I look at it this way. Every one of them do it. He's just being held accountable because he's Donald Trump. And remember, when it's Adolf Hitler, according to them, there's nothing they shouldn't do to try to stop him. Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, she denied being in the White House. That's the White House logs are going to show that. She denied, he lied too about the affair, the boy toy that she had. This is all BS. These are people who, let's go back to Strzok and Page from the FBI as they went after Donald Trump. It's the same thing. There's people who are vindictive towards Donald Trump and they're doing the bidding of what the establishment wants. This isn't anything new. Strzok and Page were the same way. It's the FBI. Look at Uma Abedin. Look at Hillary Clinton herself. Look at John Podesta and what they did. They're the ones that started the Obama birther movement. It wasn't Trump. Trump ran with it because it's Trump. But they started it during the first time she ran against Obama. She started that he was born in Kenya and not in the United States. There's emails from John Podesta about this. This isn't anything new. And then you got these Democrats just like, oh my God, holy shit. Every day, holy shit, Fanni Willis nukes Donald Trump. He's going to prison. I'm like, do you people even pay attention? It's like you guys didn't even live through the Hillary Clinton thing. Do you remember the one you were defending, Hillary Clinton, that she could do no wrong and she was perfect and I'm with her and I'm going to break the glass ceiling and she's going to be the next woman president, and she posts on her own Twitter, "Happy birthday, Miss this first female president," and she wishes herself a happy birthday. Remember this? Then they defended her. She didn't do anything wrong. She stood there for 17 hours and it's a witch hunt. And then what happens? Donald Trump happened. Oh, he's guilty. He's going to jail. But he's not going to go to jail. He's not going to see a day in prison. He won't. An ex-president isn't going to go to jail. The United States will not do that. The United States can't afford to do that. Because every single thing that he did, every treaty that he signed, every piece of legislation he put, every dollar he gave to a foreign country will then be under complete 100% evaluation and inspection. Anything he agreed to for the United States will be null and void. Any type of actions that were taken on foreign leaders or foreign adversaries, any type of sanctions that were put on the countries, any of it, any legislation that he had his hand in will be completely circumspect. They're never going to do it, guys and girls. So let's just stop worrying about it. This is to stop him from getting back there. That's all this is. That's all it is. Tell me Kucherov and McKinnon scored.
I just saw it was 1-0. I don't know who scored though.
Well, you damn Skippy. Well, that was quick. They were having a scoreless and they opened it up, huh?
What is the score?
Well, it's 1-1.
Oh, I didn't
But what
know.
I'm saying, it was scoreless. It was nil. And there was only, 18 minutes left. Or 18 minutes had went by. Bo Byram, Miko, and McKinnon, Braden Point, Kucherov, and Hedman. Go figure.
Who actually scored? McKinnon or?
It was Bo Byram.
Byram scored. Wow.
Byram scored and Braden Point. And Braden Point's an Avs killer. He always is. All right. So here's what it comes down to. This lady, there's going to be a conflict of interest in this trial. Anything she brought in, this will not see any type of clarification or final decision. Here is another one that will not be before the election. Here's another one. They're losing their opportunity to sink their teeth into Trump. Everything they try is marred in failure. That's all they've done. Everyone's just like, oh, we got Trump. Well, you know what? These indictments are dropping like flies. You gave him a get out of jail free card with Biden. You gave him a get out of jail free card. He returned documents 6 times after saying he had already returned all the documents. Joe Biden, that's obstruction. You didn't charge him with obstruction. Remember, you said, oh, I've got all the documents. Oh, then we found some more in the Penn building. Oh, no, we found some more in my other property. Oh, wait, here's some more. I found some in Scranton.
Found it in my Corvette in the garage.
It's in my garage, in the Corvette. I found it. I found Jill's underwear. It wasn't in Melania's. Trust me, I grabbed some and wore them. It's Jill's. No, this is ridiculous. Give it a break. Nobody's going to jail. They're never going to hold each other accountable. They're all a part of it. This is all for public opinion. This is just money, power, votes. Give me a break. They can't take him off the ballot. So I told you, I already told you what's going to happen. The worst thing in the world. When you think you're dealing with Adolf Hitler, where would you stop? There is nothing off limits for what they're going to do to stop him. They will not let him be president again. And for you to think that they will, it doesn't make any sense. They don't have a choice but to take him out by any means necessary. Because Donald Trump is coming for all of them. And if he gets in, am I going to have a great 4 years. My show is going to rock. And if he doesn't get in, I probably won't have a show anymore because we're all going to get silenced. What are you doing out there, Kat? God, is she in heat? She can't be. She's neutered.
Spade.
Whatever. I hit her with a spade. She's not going to have any children. All right. I do not hurt my cat. But the whole point of this is they can't let Trump be president. Hi, Carrie. How you feeling? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better, kid. I hope you're doing well. Doesn't sound like you're amazing right now, but love you, and I hope you get better. Gosh darn it. Kucherov scores. Of course he scores. It's all right. Avs are having a tough go. They're in a bad way. They'll get it back. Honestly, have your collapse now. Just do well. Just get in the playoffs. That's all you got to do. And the Avs, Tampa Bay knows you don't need number one. It just kills your players. Sherry says, "Oh my God, just got home from the hospital. 5.5 hours of blood transfusion. What the hell's going on with everybody?" But my hubby has energy once again for a while anyhow until he needs another one. Oh, Sherry, that's right, your husband. What was the only thing he needed more? I'm exhausted, no sleep in 2 days. I wish I could hire a private doctor into my house. Listen, get some rest, kid. Get off the damn show. You don't need to be on tonight. God bless you. God bless your entire family. I pray that he's going to do okay. All right? I pray. All right. Let's get to the next one. What time is it? 7:52. Yeah, we can do one more before the commercial. All right. Tucker Carlson should move to Russia. Now, I defended Tucker Carlson's right to go to Russia and interview Vladimir Putin. Not that he needed my permission at all, but I'm kind of getting sick of him right now. I know everyone tells me, Matt, what about Kennedy affecting the election? What about it? I don't understand. What about it? I'm not going to force anyone to pray. Everyone knows it will pray in their own way and say a prayer. So everybody believes something different. I'm just not going to do that. And especially Olivia and I will do it in our own way, and we always do for everybody. So let's get back to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, I appreciate what he did, but here's the thing: there was a very large narrative that he was a Russian sympathizer. This rhetoric is a little much. So, Liv, let's listen to it, and then I want to get your opinion on it, and you guys can tell me. I'm not offended. I just think it's. I don't know why he's doing it.
So a long-standing.
And to me, this isn't. I disagree with everything he's saying. Because when you look at this, for the cost of groceries, he says are much lower. In some cases, 400% lower. He also isn't telling you that these people on average get paid 1/5 what the people in the United States do. Lee says Tucker is bringing us all sides we never hear. We've never heard the food shortages and bread lines in Russia. We haven't heard about socialism. We haven't heard about sanctions. We haven't heard about economic disparity in Russia. What do you mean, Lee? I'm confused. Because I've heard all those things. Tucker Carlson is bringing you, this isn't true. So we'll go into it. Let's listen to it first, and then we'll do it with unabashed ears. Unabated, unabashed, virgin ears. Ignore everything I said. Let's listen.
A long-standing feature, maybe the longest-standing feature of Cold War propaganda in the West was the Soviet grocery store. No.
It wasn't propaganda. I was there. I saw the lines posthumous from the Cold War. And that is a lie.
Products, no choices, shoddily made things. And it wasn't actually propaganda, it was real. And you can look up pictures on the internet.
Then don't say it's propaganda.
So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern-day, 2024 Russian grocery store 2 years into sanctions. Here we go. All right. There we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here, and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment. Okay, this is the grocery cart escalator. This is designed, I'm figuring this out now, where the wheels don't move, they lock on the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands.
Olivia, how does that work?
Not a clue.
Magnets. I'm pretty sure. It's magnets, or it sends some sort of electronic signal in that area, but I would assume it'd be magnets. Target has the same thing, where you get past. Now, they work differently. I think they use a wired mesh. When you go past it, the wheels automatically lock without receiving the signal within a certain portion of the store. But to me, when it's on the escalator alone, it would lead me to believe it'd be magnetized of some sort. Either way,
something like that.
It's a very interesting thought. All right, let's watch.
Placement here is a little bit different. So it's like walking through Macy's to get to Whole Foods. Okay, we've gotten through the perfume section to get to the grocery store. So we're gonna try and buy what a family of four would buy every week, and we're gonna see what the selection is, and we're gonna see what it costs.
Reminds me of Baco, where the Target was in the mall, remember?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Now, Russia is famous for its bread, which is one thing I can assess pretty well. The low-carb lifestyle has not swept Russia. Thank heaven, because I mean, look at that. It's fresh, too. Look at that. Oh, come on. Unicorn and mini mills. All right. Some kind of Russian wheat cookies. Ooh, we need coffee, don't we? Yeah. I don't know if this is sugar or flour, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I understand how they use the magnetic strip and they use that signal. The problem I'm talking about is going up an escalator. You wonder how they would do that. You know what I'm saying? Specifically on the escalator to lock its wheels. Now, maybe it's that magnetic strip, or it's that strip as well, which does that. I just don't know. Because I've never seen it in the States. Because we don't have escalators that go up, flat escalators like conveyor belts that go up in grocery stores. I've never seen one.
But it looks like a staple, so we should get it. It's a very good looking package. It's got to be flour, right? And this is Russian wine. It's from Crimea, which not only has the warm water naval base, but also is the source of.
Yeah, Crimea is not Russia, dude. So yeah, you think he's going to start talking with an accent? You know, it's just one of these points. He's going to come out and he's going to be a Russian double agent. I mean, dude, sitting there saying Crimea is Russia. You might want to ask the Crimeans about that.
I wonder if he talked to Fanni Willis because she didn't realize Belize was.
Yeah, what continent is Belize? Yeah.
In this part of Russia for wine, so it's apparently pretty good. Cheese puffs. You check out of a grocery store and you've got gum, razor blades, and candy. Actually, they hide the razor blades because we steal them. But these are all seem to be Western products: Mars, Twix, Snickers, Milky Way, Bounty, Gillette, Paul's Cough Drops, Mentos. It's pretty non-sanctioned to me.
Oh, Jason, we always love people like you. I'm even going to put you up to give you that little special attention since you can't even make an argument. Your show is a joke.
Thanks, Jason.
Jason, you're a joke. Let's see, it's stupid. Make an argument, dude. Say something. Come on the show. Call in here. I'll even put it in link chat. You can call in and tell me how stupid I am. You can make one argument, I dare you. I'm sorry, you love Russia, huh? Have you ever been there? I have. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I think I know more about it than you do. In fact, I'm guarantee I know more about Russia than you do. But come on and show me. Call in the show. Educate me. Teach me. Show me a few things.
I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody hears from the United States buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized. We're not making any of this up, by the way, at all.
I like how it was all happy, jovial music, and then all of a sudden they start talking, and it's
serious. It's listen, it's not that I don't appreciate Tucker, but this is a little much, right? So now not only are you overseas and you have a conversation with Vladimir Putin, which is fine. Phone number's up. I just don't advertise because nobody ever calls. So we'll be happy to get you the phone number. Somebody put it up there. And he should. If it's so fantastic and you love it, it's cleaner. He said the subways are better. The cities are cleaner. There's not an essence of crime. Why don't you just say the quiet part out loud? And we can sit here and pretend. And I really don't want to sound like a liberal here. But I think it's okay. Just because liberals say it all the time, it doesn't mean another person shouldn't be able to say it without any weight. I think why Tucker loves Russia so much is because there's not a lot of black people in Russia.
You think he's racist?
It's not about racism. It's honest. Big cities in America predominantly have a large amount of crime, whether you like it or not, because of the African-American element in the inner city. Whether you find that racist or not, it means nothing to me. Those are the numbers. And if you look at some of the most prosperous places, whether it be Sweden, Norway, Finland, Nordic countries, if you look at some Chinese out of the 9 major provinces in China, the bigger cities, they don't have the inner city crime element. So it's I'm not sitting here blaming African Americans for it. What I'm saying is they're a product of their environment. They're a product of where they are. They're a product of what they have. And yes, their community needs to find a way to assist in stopping what's happening. It starts with a family unit. It starts with not abandoning children. It starts with helping the community. It starts with proactively charging people with crimes and actually speaking up and helping the police solve these crimes. It's when you see drugs being dealt to notify the police. It's going to take the active neighborhoods to work together. No matter the fear, no matter the issue, it's the truth. Yep, I'm a racist. Yep, of course I'm a racist. And Julie, you're a myopic thinker. And let me finish. You got nothing else. Because here's the thing. Your idea of racist is anyone who says the truth. You're going to sit here and tell me. So let's do it. Let's do this. I was waiting for people like this to come on tonight.
Oh, there's another one?
What?
Are you talking about Jason? I thought you said something.
No, I'm talking about Julie. Julie just called me a racist.
Oh, that's why I said there's another one because,
Yeah.
Jason doesn't like the way you're talking about Tucker.
I don't care. Well, you know what? I'm sorry your boyfriend and you are upset. I don't care the way you feel about me talking about Tucker. I don't like the way Tucker's talking about the United States of America. So where the hell do you live, Jason? Are you an American? Are you a patriot? Have you been to Russia? Have you ever seen the Soviet bloc? Have you been to Petropavlovsk, Severomorsk, Vladivostok, Moscow? Have you ever seen what happened with the Serbs? Do you understand what happened in Crimea? Do you understand what's happening? Not that I'm a fan of Ukraine, but do you understand that this whole thing isn't made up? You understand Vladimir Putin went into Ukraine, and you can say it's because of bioweapon labs, and you can say it's because of Nazis, but that's what they've been saying for 20 years. They said it during Crimea. They said it in Syria. They said it in Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Serbia as well. Russian propaganda is strong. I don't understand why Americans, especially conservative Republicans like myself, somehow are sucking the gonads of Russia. The naivety is that you guys sit here and say that the left is completely endowed and usurped to China, which I would agree with you. They certainly are. But you guys are awfully much representing that you are completely subservient to Russian ideology. So I'm sorry you don't like the way I was talking about. You certainly didn't mind the way I was talking about Tucker when I defended him and showed the entire 2-hour Putin interview, and YouTube went ahead and gave me a strike for it. And I defended his right to go ahead and do that because it is his right. But you know what? I don't think Tucker should be trashing the United States of America. If he wants to point out that there is crime in the U.S., that it is filthy in some areas, fine. But what he is doing is he is portraying something that isn't true. Russia makes 1/5 of what the average American does. The VAT taxes in Russia are so extraordinary, there isn't even an average for them. Yeah, they may pay 13 cents overall on an income tax, but the VAT taxes is where it's at.
What's
and
that?
It's not VAT tax, it's a value-added tax. And it's based upon whether they have it or not. So bread and food and meat and vehicles and homes and commodities are taxed into oblivion based upon the value-added tax, which is the supply and demand factor. Ask how much college is in Russia. Talk about the corruption, where it's ranked 138th out of 184 freaking countries in the level of corruption. We like to point out that Ukraine is corrupt. Compare the level of corruption in Ukraine to Russia and tell me what you get. The oligarchical society in Russia is mafioso style leadership. The top 3% in Russia not only make more than everyone else, which it happens in capitalism too, but the difference is that there is no opportunity for the people to move out of their current state. Inflation's about 3.7%. Unemployment is about 3.5%. The problem is the overall job levels and how many jobs are available and how many people aren't even counted because they're not in the workforce. Why don't we talk about what they did do to immigrants in that city? Why don't we talk about any of the crime that's in the city? Why don't we talk about the unfair and completely unjust criminal justice system, which puts people in prison for the slightest of things? Why don't we talk about reporters being killed? Why don't we talk about top scientists and people who speak out against the dictatorship under Vladimir Putin and what happens to them? I'm sorry you don't like the way I'm talking about Tucker. I don't like the way Tucker's talking about my country. And what happened to Americans where we can't agree that somebody sitting in the middle of Russia and saying things that aren't accurate and lying to the American people is okay? Because when I was there in 96, 98, and 99, I could give someone a pair of Levi's and I wouldn't have to pay for anything for the entire week. They're not that far removed from that experience. And it wasn't communist then. It was the Boris Yeltsin-based democracy, reinstalled government between the conversations between Gorbachev and Reagan that carried on with Boris Yeltsin and was a complete failure of nation building, where republics and democracies have failed every time the United States has tried to install them across the world, 26 in total, and they've all failed. Why? Because the people in charge don't follow the basic principles of law and order and the Constitution of the United States, and this is where our country's going. So if we want to sit here and cast aspersions against the United States, at least tell the truth about Russia. They're not a victim. But see, this is the narrative now, is that Russia is the victim. That Russia is a victim of the United States. So you have the phone number. You don't like what I'm saying? Call in. Go ahead, Liv. Do you have something?
No.
Okay, great. What other comments we got?
Well, somebody decided to announce their departure because we're shaming our viewers.
How are we shaming our viewers?
Exactly.
When you call me out and I call you out, you're shamed?
Yep.
See, what the interesting thing is I don't think you're used. I don't think
if you're willing to
Wait a second, Cletus Honeycutt. Oh, bummer. I'm so sorry. I'm shaming my viewers. No, Cletus, the problem is that you're trying to say something that isn't true. You're not used to anyone engaging with you. You're used to having your own way and saying whatever you want to say with no one questioning you. I'm sorry. You're wrong.
If you're going to sling insults, you better be ready for us to defend ourselves. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm not sorry.
And nobody's derailing my show. This is the show. It's called Don't Unfriend Me, which means that you're involved and you have a right to say things. But don't expect me not to push back. I have a right to tell you that I don't like the way Tucker is representing the United States. And I think for him to sit here after his interview and vacation in the United States and get millions of views saying things about Russia that aren't true, all you're doing is creating more anti-American sentiment in our country. And if Tucker Carlson's going to say, hey, instead of worrying about all these other countries, why don't you worry about home? Well, then why are we worried about Russia? I thought we were nationalists. Jason, aren't you a nationalist? Cletus, or whatever the hell your name is, aren't you a nationalist? Don't you believe in America first? Aren't you a Trump MAGA Republican? Why do you care about Russia? I thought that's wrong. I thought that's what the Zionists are doing in Israel. I thought that's what the New World Order wants, is nation building, and you worried about other countries and not the United States of America. You sound like globalists to me. I thought you were MAGA first. Whoops. I'm shaming my viewers. If your shame is showing, that's because you should be ashamed. If you believed in what you said and you had the conviction to defend yourself, you would come on the show and do so. Make a phone call. It's a conversation. Show me how much I suck. I dare you. Cowards. Whoosh, off with their heads. I wonder if Tucker will give us a view from a small town in Russia. We need more views from other places in the big city. Absolutely. He's not shaming the viewers, just telling the truth. Yep. No, and don't attack the viewers. There's no reason. I'll be happy to engage with them if they engage with me. Tucker isn't going into the poor neighborhoods. It's not just that. Tucker's not telling the truth. Tucker is saying that the bills in Russia, that the price for groceries is cheaper than the United States or equivalent, and that's not true. I've tried to explain it. The overall dollars paid to employment in Russia is 1/5 that of the United States. But you can go to Ukraine. There were places in Iraq. There are places in Afghanistan after being bombarded in Baghdad that had grocery stores up and running. Do you believe that when there's a war, all of a sudden everything's flattened and it's all gone and dead? That it all looks like Gaza? Do you understand the level of destruction that would need to take place for that to happen? There's places in Ukraine that have nightclubs open. War isn't always complete devastation. It doesn't all look like Syria or Libya. To say Russia isn't a beautiful place is ridiculous, because Russia is a beautiful place. To say the people there aren't amazing, the people are amazing. And to say that the parts of the country are not absolutely gorgeous, and I even said that on the show the other night, that Moscow is probably the second most intimidating capital in the Kremlin anywhere in the world outside of the United States and Washington, D.C. from an intimidation standpoint. It is amazing. But this is the same fallacy that they had during the Cold War, where Russia pretended that they were able to keep up with the United States spending, and they didn't, and it actually put them into bankruptcy. The entire Russian military is kept together with rust, spray paint, and bubble gum. And if you believe that their military is the strongest military on the planet, you're so far off I can't even begin to tell you. They are 40 years from being relevant. Yes, they have hypersonic missiles. Congratulations. Do you know how much those suckers cost? Do you know how many they have? Russia is bankrupt. Russia is being bled by this war. And the only way that Ukraine wins is if Russia pulls out or draws lines of demarcation. That's it. Ukraine's not going to take over Russia. It's impossible. But all they've got to do is hold out until Russia doesn't have any money or not enough lives to go ahead and put on the front line. And the lives aren't going to be the problem, because Putin will have no problem doing that. What it will be is financial. So we can sit here and pretend that Russia's perfect and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous and it's Shangri-La, but it's not. And it has just as many problems as the United States, and the United States has completely different issues than Russia. But the one common thing is that our country is still free. And you can pretend it's not, but we're not getting the Politburo in our house. We're not getting KGB kicking in the door. And yes, we're getting to points where they're taking American citizens and silencing Americans. We understand this. We saw what happened with J6. We've seen what's happened with Trump supporters. We've seen what's happened on social media. This is nothing new. It happens all over the world. But the question that I have for the people who are supporting Russia right now is why? when you won't support Ukraine, when you won't support Israel, which is fine. I have no problem with that. That's fine. Then why are you sitting here espousing that Russia is the land of the free and the home of the brave? And why is somebody as prominent him using and starting off the conversation that it's propaganda when it's not propaganda? The Russian breadlines were real. The starvation of the Russian people happened in World War II, and it happened during the Cold War, and it will happen again. It's not propaganda. Renee says, Matt, may I say I agree with you? Yes, you may, Renee. VAT taxes F off a lot of Europeans, and it should, because it's not a soluble tax. It is completely random and want need. It's like the Fed. It's like interest rates. Whatever they want it to be. Inflation's 8%. Sweet. Let's go ahead and make interest 6.5. And you're like, why? What? To drive down people getting loans. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So let's go ahead and put a 40% tax on bread. Why? So we have more of it, so we don't run out. Well, now let's put a 7,000% tax on bread. Do you understand a year's salary in South America to get a loaf of bread? A year's salary to get a loaf of bread. I don't think you guys understand what it's like. And if you haven't been outside of the continental United States, then you probably shouldn't talk about it. If you haven't done what Tucker's doing, now, am I disagreeing with everything Tucker's saying? No, there is no shoplifting in Russia. Why? Because you'll get sent to prison for 15 years. Brittany Griner got 10 years for bringing in this much CBD oil. How much do you think it's going to take for you if you steal Gillette razors, which would piss people off because they're $50 a box? What? Of course there's no theft and shoplifting. But you know what there is? There's a black market, and you can go behind that grocery store from the mafioso and the oligarchs who are selling all of those type of things for a fraction of the cost that they stole off the trucks that they got at the docks, which is what drives the prices up of this because of the amount of corruption and theft that's happening behind the scene with black market. It may not be white collar, but it's certainly black market operations, and it's government endorsed. Whatever. I don't like the way he's talking about Tucker. Fucking where? He's talking facts, Mommy, and they're hurting my feelings. Oh, Cletus. Cletus, thank you for sharing your opinion and notifying us of your departure. Enjoy your flight. Yeah. I'm leaving Don't Unfriend Me so I can sit here and watch about everyone talking about me leaving Don't Unfriend Me. Matt is right, just saying. But nobody betrays Putin. But our government lying to us is okay. Jason, where did I say that, dude? Dudas? Where did I say that? Have you even watched my show? Are you just walking in here off? Listen, if you're just walking in here off the street, I can understand why you'd be upset. Because the first topic you hear, you immediately think I'm liberal. But see, this is the problem. We need to unlock your brain. I don't have to be devoted to a man. My loyalty isn't to Tucker. My loyalty isn't to Trump. It's not to Biden. It's not to anyone who is a politician. It's to the United States. It's to this country. It's to you. It's to my family. It's to my neighbor. I don't give a crap about any of those people. Why do you? So yeah, I get upset at my own government, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Russia is the Shangri-La and the great white hope of our country. Give me a break. Russia and Ukraine are both shitty, and I don't want either of them in our lives. Oh, Vladimir Putin might go to Poland. Well, when he does, we're going to slap his dick off. Because if Vladimir Putin wants to fight the United States military, good luck. We will light up every single naval base and inlet, and we will cripple it. And then we will park off the coast of his country in the northern hemisphere, and we will launch frickin' tomahawks into the Kremlin all day long. And everything he sends at our carrier group, Seawiz, will completely kick the shit out of them, and every cruiser will light them up. And then F-35s will over the horizon target them from 500 miles away. Bring it. I dare you. Vladimir Putin's not going to use a nuke. Vladimir Putin's not stupid. Vladimir Putin is going to do what Russia always does, waste a bunch of Russian lives and hope that they redraw lines in a peace treaty. That's what they want. That's the way they've ended every single war, from the Bolshevik Revolution, World War I, World War II. The Cold War, everything else. Draw lines, have a treaty, and sign it. They did it in Crimea. They did it in Syria. They did it in Bosnia. They're going to do it here in Ukraine. What is the big freaking mystery here? They go in and they waste Russian lives, and then they go ahead and gain and expand. What's the mystery? Alexander says, you're so right, Matt. I had a Russian pen pal and sent jeans and things over. They were like gold there. My mom would send me a pair of Levi jeans. She would spend it also for the other guys in the Intel JIC. And we would get off that boat. We would have vodka. We would have caviar. We would have lamb. We would have taxi rides. We would have a place to stay in a bungalow for one pair of Levi's each for an entire week.
Is it that they're way too expensive to buy, or they just don't sell them?
No, it's just that they're brought in the black market and they sell them for, $800-900 American dollars. Like, people can't afford them. So the black market grabs them, anything that comes in from the U.S., and they sell them, and that they don't allow any free trade in the market. That's why, if you take a look at Mercedes-Benz, it was the one vehicle for Russia. People were waiting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years for a vehicle. They would have to get in line and wait for a car. It's just everything was government controlled. It was state and government run. All production, all distribution was ran by the state, and it was all corrupt. So they wouldn't allow certain products in. If you had a Sony CD player and you went into port in Russia, whatever you wanted was yours. Women, money, fame, throw it all to me. It's there.
The machine.
The machine. I am the machine. But no, our government lying to us is not okay. But guess what? Our government's been lying to us since forever. Not that it's okay, but I call them out on it too. It just baffles me why people are I'm a nationalist. I'm about America first. But what about Russia? What? Please explain why I heard that Russia created Hamas. Not understanding any of this because I really haven't been paying attention to what I should be. I'm sorry to have to ask. Sandy, don't be sorry. This isn't the narrative that Russia created Hamas. It's that Netanyahu and the IDF created Hamas and Israel created Hamas. And that is an entirely different conversation, and one that I would love to talk about tomorrow night. Sandy, would you do me a favor, and can we have that conversation tomorrow, since I've got to get through the rest of this? But the whole thing is that Hamas was created by Israel and IDF. That's and honestly, there's some very large truth to it, because Netanyahu and Israel supported Hamas, and we can go into that whole thing. But to say they created and brought this on themselves is a completely different topic. I can't get into it right now. I got too much else to cover, but I promise you this. If we talk about it tomorrow, if that's okay, I would love to do that. Oh, Matt, the money signs is finally on YouTube. What does that mean? What does that mean, Melanie?
I have no idea. I saw that and I looked, but I don't see any money signs on YouTube. I don't know where she's looking.
Here's the thing. I just said, if Tucker Carlson really loves Russia, then go there, move there. He never would. Because he
would lose everything. Because he wouldn't be able to do his job, because his job is speaking freely.
And free speech.
Yeah.
Yes, super stickers and super chats go to me. And I'm trying to find now they do. So I have to hit $100 and then I get my first check. So I think I'm like at $98. So any stickers or whatever, that helps out. Julie says, who is buying that? Julie, who's buying what? You called me a racist earlier. Can I ask you why? What makes you think I'm a racist? What is it? Julie, why don't you call in? And if you don't feel comfortable calling in, why don't you just go ahead and tell me, why am I a racist? Oh, here we go. Julie says, stop, you're acting like a liberal. See, what does that mean? Because here's the thing, Julie, whether you're aware of it or not, the United States was founded on classic liberalism. Do you know Republicans and conservatism was founded in classic liberalism? So are liberals. The Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, one was just big government, and one was little government. That's really the only difference between our founding fathers, and they argued about it incessantly. And the reason why they argued about it is because we see what big government gives us. But liberal has nothing to do with government. Liberal is an ideology. And the difference between conservatism and liberalism is pretty simple. Conservatives believe in limited government and influence on your life and control. Liberalism believes that there needs to be extensive control. And not just extensive control, but that the majority outrules the individual. And this is where we get a republic and the name Republican. A Democrat believes in majority rule. So when you say I'm acting like a liberal, can you please explain to me how I'm espousing that big government is necessary, that higher taxes are necessary, that government control over you and what you do is necessary? Can you please tell me how I support distribution of wealth? Can you please tell me how I also believe that equity is something that can be achieved simply based upon if we recognize somebody's skin color or their sexual disposition? Can you please explain to me how, as a liberal, I also believe in state funding of programs that can be, or excuse me, federal funding of programs that should be taken care of by the state? Please give me examples of what makes you think I'm a liberal. Or is it an insult now? And the only thing is, you don't recognize the things I'm saying and it sounds foreign to you. So therefore, I can't be you because I have a different thought process than you. I can't possibly be a conservative or a Republican or a Christian or a constitutionalist, even though I've got an American flag behind me, tattoos, military, guns. I've got whiskey. I've got a beautiful wife and she's wearing a redneck shirt. I mean, how much more conservative do you want me to get? Do you want me to start spitting my teeth out? What do you want from me? But because I say things that you don't like, I'm a liberal. Give me examples. Instead of words like, well, let me give them to you. Stop. You're acting like a liberal. Nonsense, Julie says. You are racist. So which one is it? I'm a liberal or I'm racist? Which one? Having a nice community is a good thing. We have a fantastic community. No one likes Putin, but we have let folks see what we have let George Soros and sidekicks destroy our cities. That has nothing to do with Russia. We know Putin is evil. Then act like it. I am not shamed. Great. I wasn't talking to you. We are not worried about Russia. Who are you speaking? Is there a mouse in your pocket? Who's we? Who are you speaking for? I speak for myself. Because we are worried about Russia. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sending $150 billion to Ukraine to stop them from taking the Donbass region and parts of the Black Sea. We are very worried about Russia. So that's antithetical to what you're saying and what the facts actually say. We are tired of war and dollars. We're tired of war and dollars. Who isn't? How do you feel about Israel? You think that's worth it? Julie says, you don't suck. Oh, you don't know. I blow too. Just depends if the money's good enough. Who is buying that? Who is buying what? LOL, she says. LOL, she says again. Yes, she says. Who dialing that in? Who dare? Who dare? Who dad? Who dad? We do not need that. I don't know what it is we need. That was earlier. You're late on my comments. I'm tired of the race card. Who the played the... I'm white. What race card do you think I possess? I just told you that blacks are responsible for their crime in the inner cities, and Russia does not have a large crime element. Do the math. Someone please go ahead and look up the ethnicity of Russia. Livia, please look this up for me, and can you read this off and be awesome? Since you've been sitting here and listening to me go toe-to-toe, we haven't done this in a while. Please tell me the overall demographic makeup of Russia. Okay? Give me by percentage. I would appreciate it. Julie, I just gave you a crap load of time and you have given me none. You have called me a racist and now you seem to be backpedaling. So which one is it? Why am I a racist? LMAO. Okay, so now we know the night Matt's get lucky when Liv has in his favorite shirt. No, that's not a joke at all. It's absolutely true.
That's why I wore it tonight.
And
my hair down, so you know.
Jason, why don't you call in? You obviously are sticking around. You're not like Cletus. See, I don't want you to leave. I want you to be able to have discourse. I want you to be able to disagree with me. There we go. Ooh. All right, New Mexico. Where are you from? Obviously. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, this is Julie calling.
Hi, Julie. How's New Mexico doing?
Good. Is this my program that I was just commenting about?
Yeah. No, this is Susie, your Time Life operator. We were wondering if you would like to go ahead and order 12 free months of Time Life. I'm kidding, Julie. Julie, first of all, welcome to the show.
Okay, I just, hold it.
What?
Well, thank you. Yeah. I just want to say, when I did break into your show, it did sound very racist to me. And I'll be honest with you. I'm so tired of the race card. I'm just done with it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'll be quite honest with you. Race, the more we bring it up, it just seems like the more it just explodes.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what I mean? And I'll be honest with you. I grew up where my dad worked in a factory, and the colored kids, the Hispanic kids, every child in the neighborhood came in and got soda from Freddie Darley, okay? Mm-hmm. And my father never taught us, skin color, it doesn't make a damn thing. It doesn't make you good or bad. It's what's inside.
Well, right.
And I'm just tired of it. I think that when I broke into your show, I guess that was the first thing I heard was about the race. And I guess that's what I flung off because I'm tired of the race. And as far as Putin goes, I think everybody in America will agree he's evil and wicked. Yes. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think he wants to, I'll be quite honest, I don't know what he wants to do. I can't, fathom what the man is thinking. But I don't think he has the means, or as you put, an army to take over the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So right. I don't know why we're so worried about him when we should be worried about China. And I think we've been sold out by Biden and his family with China and all our secrets. Do you know what I mean? And as far as you were quite late on half of my messages. I was LOLing the things that you were saying, Julie, that were funny to me.
Julie, yes. I've got thousands of comments to go through, and I'm just one man. I'm just one man sitting atop the mountain looking down upon the flock, and I'm doing the best that I can. But let me go ahead and address all the 743 things that you wanted to convey to me. The first thing is, you're right. What I said in today's society could be construed as racist because it's the truth, and people don't want to hear the truth. I am not a racist. I am a person who loves stats, and I have worked with the Black community. I have worked with the veteran community, and I have lived in those communities as I have been a regional vice president for those companies, whether it be Comcast or Apple or anywhere else. I've worked in the most impoverished areas because I was always willing to go there, and that's why I was always promoted first. I'm just simply stating the truth. My father worked with Black underprivileged youth, recruited for the Colorado football camps, Napoleon Kaufman, Darian Hagan. These are all people from the inner cities in Los Angeles. I had to go into Crenshaw for football games. I understand it because I grew up in it. So my comments are not about race card. Hold on. My comments are not about the race card. They're about a breakdown of the family values that we espouse to care about. And the African-American community are in modern-day slave plantations housed by the Democrats, and they are killing entire generations because they couldn't do it with eugenics and abortion and destroying them that way. So they're doing it with drugs and unfair criminal justice practices and not giving them opportunities.
Amen.
So I'm not
I agree.
All right, great. So let's go to the second thing. We should be worried about Russia. And the reason why we have to worry about Russia is because of NATO. And whether we like it or not, after World War II, we made a promise to protect Europe. And we are still in that promise. And we are not outside of it. And if he lets one frickin' BB fly over the Polish border, we're going to World War III. That's why we're worried.
Well, and I'm going to be... Okay, so let me just get to the another side of the coin now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I live in New Mexico, okay?
Yes, you do.
And the Rio Grande runs straight through our state. Okay?
I know it well.
We have to give... Okay, and we have to give X amount of water to Texas.
Yes, you do.
These were things that were made in the 30s. These were pacts that were made in the 30s as well. Time changes things.
Yes.
And I am so tired. I have 15 grandkids, and I am so tired of thinking what is going to be held for my grandkids.
Okay, so
what kind of world are they going to be left with?
I love that you let me get to two topics. So let me address the Rio Grande. The reason why New Mexico outsources its water is because Texas gives it billions and New Mexico has absolutely nothing of value. No offense. I love you. I appreciate you. I lived there for
do.
No, you don't. You have
gas and
nothing.
oil.
I lived there for 3 years. You have
Our daughter was born there. My mom and sister still live there.
I lived there for 3 years. You have nothing. Santa Fe completely drains all resources from Albuquerque. You export most of everything. You import most of everything when it comes to any natural resources you have. So whether you have oil or you have clean water, you guys make more money than you lose by shipping your water over to Texas. Colorado did the same thing. And every single country that has or every state that has a Colorado River sells water to California. Why? Because they make more money than they lose. Second, you guys have green chili and hot air balloons. That's what you have. And meth. You're completely Democrat run. It is horrible. It is a shithole. And they have ruined that beautiful place. And Democrats have destroyed that community. And the way the United States government treated the tribes, I'm not very happy with too. So you may say that you guys, you're one of the lowest educated states. You're one of the poorest states. And the reason why is because you were completely under Democratic control. Completely.
I agree. I agree 100% with you. I'm just stating, I'm not saying about the water, Texas buying the water. I'm just saying those pacts that we made in the 30s and 40s sometimes need change. Same thing with NATO. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the fact that it was going to be my grandchildren that be footing the bill for all this.
You and I agree.
Okay, so tell me what your opinion is of this one. Okay, so in the 90s, when we made that pact with Putin, with Russia, Bush did, in regards to not going a step past, we're not going to go past Poland at all. We promise we'll sign that pact now. And all of a sudden we're stepping past it.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Listen, I've spoken this show for hundreds. Okay, let me tell you, do you know anything about me or did you just walk into the show?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I just recently found you.
Okay, so Facebook. Besides being...
I'll be honest with you, your algorithm... They try to keep you hidden. You know what I mean?
I know they do.
But
but besides being extremely handsome, I have some other fine qualities, and I'll tell you what those are real quick. So okay. I worked military intelligence for the United States Navy, for specifically U.S. Navy, and my theaters of operation were the South China Sea, Indian Ocean, got up into the Gulf, but predominantly Russia. So I know quite a bit about Russian technology. I know about Russian infrastructure, but from a geopolitical standpoint, I'm pretty much an expert on that entire portion of that hemisphere. So I understand them. I've called everything in this war from start to finish. I haven't made a mistake except for Skull Island, I believe is Snake Island or whatever. That was one little thing, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's screwed up on that. But the point is that I have been very accurate because what I don't do is I don't go out on limbs. I don't say things that are fake. I don't spread fake news. I don't get canceled from Facebook or anyone else because I don't BS people. I agree with you. I have done a shite ton of hours, Julie, on Vladimir Putin and so is Leroy, who's also on my show, about how Vladimir Putin must feel completely cut off from the world, that his eastern flank is Chinese, his northern flank is cold ice water, which is habitable, and on his western side, he literally has a wall of countries that are designed that if he has any conflict with them, will ultimately release the entire weight of NATO on his skull. Plus, that it adds an additional 1,300 miles of border that he has to patrol and protect. Vladimir Putin knows that if he doesn't go into Ukraine now, and he does it in 10 years, they'll be a part of NATO. So he did what he felt was right. However, when he did it, it doesn't make it a right decision. Just because we can understand why he did, it doesn't make the right decision. Vladimir Putin wants what's best for Vladimir Putin. He wants more territory. He wants to bring Mother Russia back. He wants the Iron Curtain back, and he wants the former Soviet bloc. That's what all Russians want. Vladimir Putin's not a good guy.
I'll agree 100% with you. He's not a good guy. Like I just said, it just bothers me that once again, and the money thing is, I'm tired of spending all this money on, and it's just as crooked sending it to that president over there in Ukraine.
Listen, I'm with you. Okay. Let me finish the rest of the comments. China,
$50 billion.
150 billion is going to be, by the time they get done with this extra bill, 96 billion. So here's the thing. Okay. I'm not here to support Ukraine. I'm not here to support Russia. I am America first, 100%. I am a nationalist and not a white nationalist. I'm a nationalist, right? I believe that we protect our borders first, okay? I don't like Biden. I disagree with some of the things Trump did too, even though no Trump supporters have the balls to say it, but he made some mistakes and he needs to be held accountable for those mistakes. And someone needs to ask him about it because he's got to speak on the vaccine. He's got to speak on the lockdowns. He's got to speak on the taxing of imports and exports out of China. He's got to answer for a few things, and it's okay. But I call balls and strikes, kiddo. And you may not like it, but this is who I am. Okay? That's it. That's all I got to say.
It was a pleasure chit-chatting with you. I think that you're very informative.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said, your algorithm is, it goes up and down to whenever they feel like, letting it happen. But this is the first time I've ever seen your live show. First time. And I think I've befriended this page probably like a month ago, and It's been over a month, and I haven't even seen no page. So
7 o'clock. Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock. We're live.
Eastern
Standard, 7 o'clock. Eastern time.
That would be 5 o'clock your time.
So yeah, you're out in my state is falling apart time. So when you have a chance, come on and see us at 7 o'clock. And remember, all you got to do is type in The Dumb Show and you can come find us. Hey, I like that you have guts, and you have more guts than Cletus and Jason. And I love that you do. And go figure that a fiery New Mexican would be the one to call. I saw 505 and I said, oh shit, here we go. Because I'll tell you, that's the one thing New Mexico has plenty of is people who are fiery and have an opinion, and I love them to death. So thanks for watching.
No problem. Thank you. You have a good evening.
You call in again. Bye. I liked her. She's a tough old bird. Maybe not old, but just old bird. Not old bird, old bird. All right, folks, real quick commercial. Then we're going to oh, holy shit. Here we go. And when it rains, it pours. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, 407. Where's 407 live? I don't know. Where's 407?
It's Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. And who might this be?
This is Blackstock. Tree service. Keith Allen Blackstock. Finally get to meet you in person.
What's going on, dude?
Hey, the first time I met you, I was sitting outside in the jiu-jitsu gym, watching my son inside, smoking a cigar, and I found you.
Wait a second.
And man, I've tried everything to friend you and catch the show, and man, it was hard.
Wait a second. Wait. Did you just say Nemitzi?
What's that?
Sorry. Did you say Nemitzi is where you saw me? Repeat.
No. I saw you on Facebook. I'm not real good on Twitter and all that.
Oh, I see.
Stuff.
Okay, so let me explain what I was thinking.
Hands, brother, I climb trees for a living and
fair enough. When you said
very well in College Park.
Okay, so when you said Nemitzi,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, when you said Nemitzi, what NMITC, which is Naval Marine Corps Intelligence Training Center, and you're like, I was sitting outside Nemitzi smoking a cigar, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's got to be with the teams. This is an old chief I was working with on the. Okay, so what's up, man? What do you want to talk about tonight?
Nah. Never military. Grew up in the hood. Split family. Done what I could, raising a family. 5 kids. I've never much been into politics. I had a lady the other day have me in her house telling my son what to trim so she can see her lake. That kind of stuff. I mean, they pay $3,200 a day. I mean, it's not. Communist bastards are going to pay, man. They don't work with their hands.
So is this Keith?
That's the way I look at it.
Is this Keith?
Yes.
All right. So
Black
Keith,
Stock.
how long have you been watching the show?
Not long. Like I said, the first time I got on here, you were talking about the runner against Trump, how she's going to be the vice president.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't.
See,
I
might have missed.
I just said that I said it would be smart for him to pick her when she has 15% of the national vote right now, and it's going to be hard for him not to pick her.
I get what you were saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I get it now. I mean, I was a little bit perturbed at first because I'd listened to other people, and then I finally got the truth, and that's one thing I respect by y'all is the truth actually comes out. And I like a military look at things.
Yeah.
And you're very well that there's 2 different sides to it,
Yep.
Maybe even 4, in the community.
Yeah.
And one good thing is the tougher part of them are coming together, and that's the way I see it.
Yeah, well,
finally,
I think there's a big pill that everyone's going to have to swallow here, and everyone talks about the red pill and blue pill, and I'm like, there's a giant shit pill that everyone needs to swallow to realize that most of the things that they think they know, it's not what they know, it's what they want, right? Yeah, it's what they want to hear. Mm-hmm. And it's happening on both sides. I mean, I'm listening to people who are talking about.
It truly is.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. People are talking that Satan is, there's demonic priestesses and witches and drinking the war. Oh my God, drinking the blood of children and weird shit, dude.
I've heard it all, man, and I'll tell you, I only like one other guy, and I won't mention him on your show, but
why not? That's okay. I'm not afraid of anybody else. It's fine.
I forget his name, man. I'm medicated. I'm 51 coming March 31st, and they gave me a damn card. So when I get in, I medicate and I work outside in the garden at my shop, trying to build another business here, back up from the ground up. Tough, man. Everything's expensive. Well, but I'm a man that can do it with nothing, so I'm good.
Well,
I just wish I had good help, man.
Well, you can help by watching. Just watch, right? Watch and learn and contribute and talk. I've seen you in chat. This isn't the first time I've seen you, so I appreciate you calling in. You've got more guts than Jason and Cletus do.
I can't listen to you because I do it on my phone. Sucks. I gotta get my other business line up and running. So I got 2 dumbass iPhones to use.
Yeah. Well,
I'm working with it. I'm trying.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. You're welcome anytime to give us a ring and say hello.
No problem. And hey, I had one question that you never really got to.
Sure.
And think about it. It might be tomorrow night. We'll see you pop up with something.
Okay.
But what's a fair amount for a month to watch your show at least 5 days a week? I know I watch it 5 days. I'm always in by 7, but when it gets darker later, I'll be, I work till dark. I'm like you. I'm out of the house or up doing something at 4:20, basically, and then.
Well, let me answer that question.
4:20.
Let me answer that question. What's fair for my show being on 5 days a week? And I will tell you this, that intrinsic value is up to the listener, because I think my show is better than most. But I also know that it's not the best out there.
It's the one they need to hear, though. That's the problem. They want to watch the ones that's going to pat their asses. I'm sorry. I need to clean it up.
No,
I promise I won't.
Olivia, help him.
You're talking to a
sailor,
really?
A little bit better.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm a sailor, and I found Olivia in a brothel, so we're fine.
I used to work at Merida Bakery making bread, and then I had a son. Went through a split up, and I had to start a tree business to take care of my first son, which is an underwater welder diver. And he's in Cuba right now working at Guantanamo Bay, I guess. Renting boats, going out shooting fish and eating good, man.
Well,
nice.
I'll just tell you, man, I leave it up to people to decide what they think is best. And listen, I know I've got a bunch. Here's the thing. I know I got a bunch of Rumble people who just came on who are watching Deanna, and they've come over here, and people are upset because I've got the thing about Tucker up. But this is my show. I'm just going to call balls and strikes. So you decide.
I want to know what you think about what's going on, and I'll form my own opinion if it's different than yours. You know what I mean? I want to hear it.
That's what we do.
But if we don't hear it, what are we going to, we're just going to be, everybody needs to work in their community. I will remember that guy's name. Jaron Jackson.
Okay.
If you look him up, he's in Oklahoma. He tried to run for office and everything. He's got a book that teaches you how to work with your community. And that's what I'm doing here, man. I got 380 feet by 100 foot wide that I want to make into a garden, RV parking, boat parking, tiny houses. I'm working on it, brother.
Well, I want you to do me a favor.
I can travel again.
Hang tight for me, and I want you to listen to this because I got the Deanna she just sent it to me. So I want you guys to listen to this interview and see what you think. So I'm gonna cut you loose.
I got to get on the. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I got to get back on Facebook.
Call me anytime. I'll wait. I'll give you 15 seconds. Take your time. See ya.
Thanks, Keith.
Bye, Keith.
Thank you.
All right. Good to have him on. All right, folks, we're going to watch this and we're going to end the show this way, which is pretty awesome. So let's see. We're going to do, I'll just name this On with Deanna. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put Stu Peters Network. I think this is interesting. I think this is going to be a side that people haven't seen of me because, well, maybe they have, because it was more, I wasn't too serious. It was more playful than anything. You know what I mean?
Is she flirting with you?
No, God, no. No, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean playful like that. Yeah, we had frickin' we had phone sex, honey.
You didn't wait for me, dear.
It's horrible, man. You're gonna just drive me up the wall. All right, so let me get this here. Here we go. We'll watch this real quick. And to all of the Rumble viewers who watch her, I had a good time. I had fun. And listen, my views aren't always going to be exactly like hers. We're going to disagree. I can sit here and say, hey, I don't like this about Tucker Carlson today, but it doesn't mean I didn't love something about him yesterday. It's okay to call balls and strikes. It's okay to say that, you know what? Trump said something that pissed me off. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as you're saying that the things that make you happy and the things that you enjoy, you're also talking about too. All right, let's get on here. Let's watch this. So enjoy. Oh, you're kidding me. Every night, Liv. Seriously? Here it is.
To have him on for Shots Fired for the first time, Matt Spear, this incredible badass holster. Welcome back to Shots Fired. All right, guys. Well, it's Thursday, and it is time for the Darwin Awards. The Darwin Awards, the dumbest, stupidest, most ridiculous people and events of the week. And hey, guess what? I decided to do an elongated version of the Darwin Awards this week and have a co-host to break this down for the week. And my co-host is, I'm excited to have him on for Shots.
The sexiest mother.
For the first time, Matt Spear. Matt Spear is a Navy veteran and a podcast host of his own podcast called The Dumb Show, aka the Don't Unfriend Me Show. He's awesome. He's uncensored and unfiltered, and I gotta love him. Welcome for the first time to Shots Fired, Matt Spear. How are you?
I'm doing well. And when I say ma'am 100 times, don't get upset with me. Oh, this is weird.
Why?
Well, it's weird watching me, but my mic is not working. That's okay. Whatever. I don't know what happened to my mic. Oh, well. You have to educate me. But
you say ma'am, I'm not 70.
Texas. Yeah, but that's that Texas blood and military thing. They've been trying to beat it out of me for a while. Thanks for having me.
I love it. No problem. It's great to have you on. All right. Well, but first, before we hand out our Darwin Awards for the week, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and your awesome show.
Well, it started in 2020, as a lot of shows did with COVID. And my wife was a big Donald Trump supporter in 2016, and I was working for a Fortune 15 at the time. So my political beliefs were kind of held in the back. So she had come to me and said, hey, is it okay if I go ahead and put up a banner of Trump? And when that happened, we had our friends who were godparents of our children and everything else to friend us and completely ostracize us and excommunicate us out of their lives. So I went and ranted about it on Facebook. It got like 30,000 views, and Don't Unfriend Me was born. And now we're doing this full time. So
that's great. And what are the kind of things you talk about on your podcast?
Pretty much everything. So mostly politics, geopolitical analysis. I spent some time working in the intelligence community for the Navy and the Department of Defense. And so just, been around quite a bit, seen some few things, and I have perspective. So a little bit of everything.
All right. Sounds kind of like my show. We do a lot of deep dives with interesting guests and intriguing guests and really issues that are the real threats to Americans. Not just the Israel war and the Ukraine war, but what are things affecting us on a day-to-day basis and our families?
Right.
So speaking of that, the first Darwin Award goes to the fire department. All right, guys, if you haven't heard about this is insane. And you actually wrote an article about this on Fox News. You also, you're a contributor.
She didn't edit it.
Oh, no.
Oh, listen, anybody watching, okay, here's the screw up so I can explain this. Oh, man, she didn't edit it out. I didn't write an article for Fox News.
Maybe it'll get you some notoriety, though.
she was sharing with me and saying, hey, what topics do you want to talk about? So I sent her one from Dumb News, which was about the Star Wars program and Trump with Space Force and what an amazing foresight it was, right? And then I sent her a second one, which was about the firefighters. But before I sent the second one, I wrote this article, and she goes, "Oh my God, you wrote that?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, that's incredible." Okay. So she was thinking the Fox News article, but it's actually the Dumb Show one. So when we were talking in the interview, when she had to go and take care of her kid, she came back and I'm like, "Oh, no, I just want to let you know, I didn't write anything for Fox News. I'm not a Fox News contributor, not at all. That would be awesome if I was." And she's like, "Okay, I'll make sure they edit it out." So obviously they missed it. So anybody who's coming in right now, for the love of God, no, I did not get hired on by Fox. Oh, man. All of a sudden I get a cease and desist from Fox.
The Fox News as well. We want to not forget that. But white firefighters are now being told that they're apparently, I got to get this right.
Well, yeah, I'm wearing the same clothes. It was literally like 5 hours ago. We just did this. This happened today. So, I already got the workout in and stuff. So yeah, I'm wearing the same clothes. I mean, what am I, a woman?
Told that they're caused racial harm, quote, racial harm, just based on the color of their skin when they're fighting fires. This is a new DEI program, a diversity and equity and inclusion program that's apparently being spearheaded and pushed through the fire departments, where they're having to have these training classes where they're forced to be more empathetic and inclusive. And they're being told that white firefighters cannot not be racist, and they need to check their racism at the door or the fire hose, apparently. What is this about, Matt? I really can't believe that this is happening.
We went through DC fire training in the Navy, and the one thing that they always told us is when you come out of a fire, everyone's black. So there is no skin color.
That's true. I would think so. Yeah.
It really is. It comes down to this. This is the corporate methodology that's infected every major corporation in the Fortune 500s. And DEI is a toxic and a form of segregation in the workplace. And although I understand there were times for affirmative action and things like that, we needed to go ahead and be more inclusive, of course, because we were a country in the 60s that wasn't necessarily all about that. But now it's infected our military, it's infected the police departments, fire departments, where you want the hard charger. You want the person who is, high speed, low drag. And now it comes down to that the first and foremost thing we focus on, besides physicality or mentality, really comes down to, are you the right skin color, or are DP sitting down or standing up? So to me, it's enough. It's too much.
DEI is the demon, if you ask me, because I don't care if I'm in a burning building. I don't care if you're Chinese. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. Right. I care, are you going to get me from this burning building into the ground and into a hospital? Are you going to save me? And are you strong enough to do that? So, I can't believe that this is filtered into firefighters now, where they're caring more about your skin color than, can you do the job? Are you fit to do the job? They're choosing the wrong people. And it's also troublesome because, I don't know about you, but I've never heard a firefighter, contemplate bringing someone down from a burning building and being like, hey, what's your skin color first? I gotta know your skin color first, and maybe I'll save you, maybe I won't. This is crazy. This is truly a toxic mentality. And I'm going to read a couple other things that go along with it, because it's just nuts. So not only are they saying that you have to check your racism at the door, and I'm guessing that this goes for the hiring of them as well, but they're saying they're saying it's important for white people to understand the distinction between publicly being shamed for a racist act versus feeling internalized shame while being held accountable for racism. Apparently, this is sort of a big slideshow that they're doing in these training programs. And they're being told that white staff members inherently harbor racist and sexist views, and they've all caused racial harm at some point. And it goes on and on. So this is pretty troubling, right?
It is. And Deanna, the thing is they talk about, in this training, I've been through 3 companies who've facilitated this, whether it's white fragility or toxic masculinity.
White fragility.
It's so scary. And then unconscious bias is really where most of this harbors. Right. And here's the thing with unconscious bias is, if it's in the subconscious and you're not aware you're doing it, how are you supposed to stop it? So there used to be a time where conversation would take place, where if your coworker was being a jerk, or they weren't doing their job, or they were showing up late, there would be a conversation that usually was with peers, and then it possibly could be included by a manager or a district manager or whatever. Right. But now it's I'm not feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
So instead of me taking responsibility for who I am, I'm going to go to HR. And then I'm going to tell them you're a racist and everything else. And this is one of the reasons I left corporate America and just went running.
Thank God for that.
Hair on fire. Yeah.
With your hair on fire. Wow. Unbelievable. And we can joke about it, but it's really not a joke, because it comes down to people's lives and their livelihood. So,
well, it wasn't just, listen, there's coming to a point where we're disqualifying everyone. We can talk about the vaccine and say, you can't work for federal government, you can't work for state government, you can't work for a hospital unless you get the vaccine. Now it's to the point, well, you're white and you're ex-military, so you're the worst person on the planet. And when we continue to disqualify and not accept people for their inequity, eventually you have these supposed omnipotent, people who are unapproachable and unencroachable. And the problem with that is that you can't live up to those standards. People make mistakes. People say things that are dumb sometimes. And we used to invest in them. Now, get rid of them or don't hire them altogether.
Amen to that. Okay. So, all right. So we got to move on to the next Darwin Award. The next Darwin Award goes to, ready for this? PETA. Yeah, PETA. PETA has found a new target to claim animal cruelty. And you know what that target is? Merry-go-rounds. Merry-go-rounds with little horses and zebras and cows and different animals. Yes, they're calling that animal cruelty now. And it's just unbelievable. This is their new target. And they want to get rid of all merry-go-rounds at carnivals, at fairs, at festivals, at amusement parks. Get rid of those merry-go-rounds, if you can believe it. What a killjoy. They say this is the president of PETA. Children learn through play, and teaching them to have respect and compassion for all living and feeling things can help create a more just and merciful world. This went out in their press release this past week. Can't believe it. PETA argues that carousel manufacturers need to hit the brakes on old-fashioned animal-themed rides, and they need to embrace designs that engage children's imaginations more and showcase human talent. I don't know how you do that with a merry-go-round, but what do you make of this?
I just, listen, if we're talking about circuses and fairs, I remember it used to be you would go and pet the goat, and you would feed it some food, and then you would go ride the elephant. You see camels and a lot of things you wouldn't see unless you traversed outside the United States. That was the greatest thing about those circuses. And now we've taken those away. And the clowns are scary to children. And you can't eat cotton candy because it's GMO or it's not gluten-free or some other stupid crap. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and take out any remaining happiness of children who don't even know better and who are usually 2 and 3 years old who ride those rides, because that's the only thing they can go on in the entire amusement park. And now let's take that away from them. I don't know. Do we just want to just wipe away all happiness? Is that what we want to do? We can just sit around in our drudgery, because it certainly seems that's what the left is looking to do.
So they are. They're murderers of joy is what they are. I mean, I really think that's who PETA actually is. And, God forbid they see any of our hunting, right? You're a Texan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what's really, going to affect children? It's not a merry-go-round. In fact, I think that's helping children love animals more. They're getting to ride on this pony or their horse or something. How is that at all affecting children's mentality in a negative way towards animals?
I don't know. I struggle with PETA. I don't know whether they're eating quinoa or wheatgrass or anything, but the big question I have is when they go ahead and they plow through those fields, all the mice and the moles and the other animals and the bees and all the other things that they murder, I guess that doesn't matter and it's not living. PETA has a very big problem, is that they're finding that when you look into their program and you look into what they try to do, they have kill shelters all over the United States that take in animals. In fact, in Virginia, the kill ratio is like 77% of the animals they take in, they put down. So, you can sit here and say, well, PETA, it's nice and it's a good feeling. We understand that. But really, when it comes to pets or it comes to hunting, this is the hunter-gatherer sense. This is who we are as a people. And it doesn't matter whether you're getting some wheat or you're hunting a deer. You have to provide for your family. And these are the ways we've been doing it since the Stone Age. So,
totally agree with you there. And I believe hunting is a great thing as well. So
you and I both.
Yeah, totally. But tell that to a California soy boy, and you'll get a different sentiment there.
I'm going to disappoint you. I'm from California, but I was there.
So am I.
I was there during the Reagan years. So I was Ventura, California when obviously it went red, but I left in '92. So.
Okay. So I've only been in Texas for 3 years.
Where are you at in Texas?
I'm in Austin.
Oh,
yeah.
Bless you. You didn't change at all. You went from California to California 2.0.
I know. If it wasn't for InfoWars, my former employer, who for some reason is stationed in Austin. I don't know why. Out of all the places in America, they're stationed in Austin, but that's where they are. I would never have gone to Austin. Yeah. But here I am now.
It's still kind of Texas. Don't worry about it. We'll
there's some of it. It's still actually better than California
totally.
In most areas.
I'm with you. You don't need a passport to travel.
Yeah, exactly. Or a vaccine passport.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. On that note, the next Darwin Award goes to this she-male of a male, Kristen Stewart, who used to be a decent actress. Remember Kristen Stewart from the Twilight series? She used to be decent, but now she is making a name for herself to be the gayest actress ever, or actor. She's trying to be a she-male. So she just posed for the cover of a Rolling Stone magazine. And what is she doing? She's putting her hand in her jockstrap with leather chaps and a leather open shirt. And I can't believe that this is actually a cover, but she says this. She wants to shock people and appall people with this cover and say that she wants it to be the gayest thing that you've ever seen. This Twilight actress turned actor, apparently. She came out as gay in a Saturday Night Live opening monologue in 2017. And she says this: I want the cover image to send a clear message, hypersexualized, left of andro, and flipping the gender script, she says, about her LGBTQ identity. So it's just not, it's like, what happened to just being a decent actress or a decent talent or a decent person? Why does this have to be so, yes, I'm gay, it's in your face, and it have to be the gayest thing ever, and hypersexualized and with a jockstrap and everything? I mean, why?
Well, first thing is when I saw the title and it said, quoting her, this one, she wants to create the most gayest thing ever
gayest
seen.
Thing ever
She already achieved that with Twilight. So
that's true.
Let's be honest. It's going to be.
I always suspected her, anyways, of being somewhat different.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't care. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a Bill of Rights. You just do whatever you do in your own bedroom as long as you're not hurting other people. I don't care.
Or shoving it in my face.
Right. I don't care what you do. Honestly, it's not my ability or my opinion to judge you. I don't really care. However, there's 224 days out of the year that are used to celebrate the LGBTQ RSPQRT2 spirit, whatever it is now. and that's no longer somebody or a group of people who are being marginalized.
Yeah.
And it's now in the mainstream and it's cool. And you look at schools and it's cliche, and that the cliques used to be people smoking with Doc Martens and some jackets up looking like James Dean. And now it's groups of people who are saying that they're lesbian or gay. And these are preteens. This is ridiculous. Yeah. It comes to a point when the whole argument about LGBTQ was we want to be accepted. That's all. We don't want to transform your kids. In fact, we can't because it's in your DNA. It's not a choice. Well, then what the hell are you doing now? Because you've gone too far at this point. You've done exactly what we've said we were afraid of. So now the point is enough. The buck stops here. Mm-hmm. The American flag is in the classroom. We don't need rainbow flags in the classroom. We don't need these teachers who are indoctrinated into this philosophy of a Marxist philosophy. We need to stop as a society. We need to get back to the family value quickly. The first time in world history, as far as documenting this, the world is actually having fewer children than they've ever had before. Japan, they're saying within the next 30 to 40 years, will no longer, it's going to lose 50% of its population because they're not having kids.
Yes. And they're not having kids because they're turning them gay and they're turning them transgender and sterilizing them. So yeah, you can't be having kids when you're sterile or when you don't even know what gender you are. It's a pretty great fix, actually, and pretty intelligent fix if they're wanting to push their population control agenda. I mean, it's actually quite smart.
It aligns with depopulation. And this is why when people talk about it and they say, oh, well, that's not happening, we'll say,
conspiracy theory.
you've got all this stuff right here to show you. We at least should have the conversation, shouldn't we?
Yes.
But I guess not.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, my previous guest before you, Landon Starbuck, they have released with Robbie Starbuck, her husband, they just released the documentary this week called The War on Children. And it talks about exactly that, how this is a war.
We got to watch this.
And this is an agenda. It's very intentional and sophisticated. And they are literally chopping off children's genitals and balls, right. and they're destroying them intentionally so that they won't have more children and that they will be destroyed. And they won't be our next generation of leaders. They'll be our next generation of very confused but compliant robots who don't know themselves, who don't have God, who don't have a family unit. And if we don't put a stop to this very soon and we're not aware of it as parents, then that agenda will absolutely be fulfilled because it's already being fulfilled at lightning speed.
Yeah, we fought this in Virginia. We went to Fairfax County. Brandon Michon ran for Congress out here he was the upset father. If you look it up, most people see it on YouTube. It had
yes,
25
I
million
remember
views.
that.
Yeah, so he's a good friend of mine, and we fought this at the school level. I had to fight CPS over my show, and they got involved in my life because you just get targeted. And the whole thing about this, which is just insanity, is I think the Republican movement is all about allowing people to be who they want to be. That's fine. I mean, that's what conservatism truly is. But when you mandate that what you're saying is not okay, and who you are is not okay, and your religious beliefs are not okay, and because you're white, it's not okay, this isn't about equality. It's about a power struggle. And you want to take those things that we learned from back in the yesteryear and apply them to today. That doesn't make you just. It just makes you somebody who wants more power.
Yes, exactly. And we also have to be able to step in when that line has been crossed. And it's not just be who you are, footloose and fancy free, but we need a system too where we are centered with strong values.
Yes, morals.
Yeah, morals and values, or else that freedom is not, it's going to go unfettered. And that's the thing. Freedom in America has always been contingent with morals. Because you can just have freedom and be a crazy liberal, and then without the moral system, then freedom goes wrong. Freedom goes the way of the devil.
And consequence, right? And consequence. The one thing lacking, freedom, morals. But then what happens when you encroach upon those morals or other freedoms? You have to have consequence, and there is no more law and order. Or we do. It's just two-tiered now.
Yes, it's two-tiered, exactly. Speaking of two-tiered, the next Darwin Award goes.
Yeah, what it is it's actually my Mac picking up, and for some reason in the settings, it didn't, and that's okay because you can still hear it. But yeah, you're right. It is. I'll turn it up a little bit.
The good old FBI. What is their use anymore? It's more like the fraud BI, but that's pretty much what it is. Jeffrey Epstein, actually, their victims, 12 of his victims are suing FBI for alleged failure to investigate the sex trafficking ring of the elite. And now this is really interesting, and I think it's something pretty notable that we should get behind these people, these victims. They're feeling like the FBI did absolutely nothing to help them, which they didn't. It's a new lawsuit that's happening this week, and it's 12 women that are accusing the FBI of turning a blind eye to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring and allowing dozens, more like thousands of women to be abused for more than 2 decades. These are 12 anonymous Jeffrey Epstein victims. They filed this new lawsuit against the FBI. This was filed just yesterday in the state of New York, alleges that the FBI turned this blind eye since the 90s. And we know this, but it's good to actually have a lawsuit against them. They're saying the FBI received reports, complaints, tips, dozens of them concerning the illegal sex trafficking of women and underage minors, sex abuse, and human rights violations committed by Jeffrey Epstein and associates, but did absolutely nothing about it. So now they're finally suing the FBI. What do you think about that?
Well, listen, this whole thing is just stunk to high heaven since the very beginning. And you can go into the supposed suicide and understand how
the supposed suicide. Yeah, right.
Right.
The cameras were all not working and the guards were sleeping. Right.
Right. We have broken trachea, other types of things when it comes to the autopsy report. And here's the thing about, it's not a plug, but it's my show, is I don't report on things that aren't accurate. Like, I will make the distinction. This is my opinion and this is fact. And I always try to wait for the facts. But In this situation, you have a severe lack of accountability. And this isn't the first time we've seen it. Look at the U.S. gymnastics team who was sexually molested, and they covered it up. You can look at, some groups of church overseas and here that are not it's not being talked about. You can look at major groups that are coming over the border and taking children from border states. I mean, there is a very large problem with sex trafficking in this country. And for some reason, it's not being addressed. And you have to, once again, ask the question, why? She laid the track. So when they edited it, they didn't put in my mic track. They did there's multiple recordings. And so she individually laid the tracks, but they didn't overdub. So at the end they did. So that's where my voice is coming in. I empower the victims to blow this wide open. This isn't the first time we've seen failure from the FBI. It seems like every single shooting, and the one that just happened in Kansas City, we're going to find out that these people were on a watch list. These people were reported. They made a Facebook post, and the FBI will say, well, at the time we looked into it, couldn't find anything, so we let them go. And this is the result. What do? Well, they harass Americans and spy on Americans. We know that. That's exactly what the FBI does.
That's exactly what they do. Well, they harass and spy on Americans and persecute Americans who happen to be conservatives and vote for Trump. But those who are the real threat to Americans, they do absolutely nothing about, and they just wash their hands with, and they do, they do zero and pretend like they're hunting. I mean, it's really a joke. I mean, FBI has become a big joke, and unfortunately, as much as I applaud this lawsuit of these 12 anonymous women against the FBI, I have a very sneaking suspicion it's probably not going to go anywhere because we know what happens to lawsuits against the FBI. But who I do think is going to go somewhere are probably these 12 women that are going to go poof and suddenly have sad accidents. Sad as that is.
It just comes down to this: is we talked about the two-tiered system, and I think it was a good segue. Is the voice that's required in order to get through all the noise in the media. And the overall projection coming out of Washington, which is to silence atrocities and silence things that actually happen in real life. This used to be what the news was about. We would turn on the local news and we would hear about things that happened to our neighbors. We would hear about things that happened in our county. Now it's the 24 hours, let me sell you Rogaine, or let me sell you Propecia or gold. And you're sitting here and inundated with fear, and you're not learning anything of value. And this is a story that needs to be put out there. Why isn't this on 60 Minutes? Why don't we have the next Barbara Walters talking about this? Because when we were younger, we would go to it and get this information. Do you remember when they used to, it wasn't Nightline, but maybe it was Dateline or something. But
Dateline.
They used to go out and catch the sex offenders. And
how to catch a predator. Yeah, Chris Hansen. He was great.
Amazing. And you don't see that stuff anymore. You don't see unsolved mysteries. You don't see cops. Everything has been just inundated with this just whitewashed, just prosthetic that has no reality anymore. And this is just one of the things that, like you said, will be swept under the rug, and we won't hear anything about it until the next time.
Exactly. Sadly. All right. Well, this has flown by too fast, but we have handed out our Darwin Awards for the week. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, everybody, again, where they can find you, follow you, and watch your awesome podcast.
So we're on social media at The Dumb Show, and we're over with Spreely TV. So you can find us at Spreely.tv. And then if you go to thedumbshow.com, everything's there. Podcast, where you can find it. You guys know the drill. It's pretty easy to find podcasts nowadays. But would love to have you. Thanks for having me. It was a good time, and I would love to come back anytime.
Awesome. We'll definitely do that. All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere. All right, that's all the time we've got for today. Thank you so much for watching.
I got PTS from her intro, and I'm struggling to cope. So the AR-15 just touched me in funny places. Anyway, it was a fun interview. I really wish they would have laid the audio track. I don't care about the Fox News thing because the audio sounded great, and then it doesn't matter either way. It was fun. It was a good time, and it's not the first podcast I've done, but it was probably the biggest. I mean, there was over 3,000 people watching on Rumble on her channel, and she's got 500,000 followers. So, and she's fairly well known.
Hopefully we'll get some notoriety from that.
Well, it's if so, great. If not, then that's fine too. But either way, I just wanted to show it to you guys, and I'm sorry we can't we don't have any more for you. because we got to roll. It's late. Olivia's tired. We have a game to go watch. But everyone, we appreciate you. Do me a favor. If you have not had the chance, go over to the Don't Unfriend Me show at thedumbshow.com. You can also, if you would not do me or would do me one little favor, is if you go over to this link right here. This is thetapgo.com. We don't beg for stuff here. We will always be a free show, but we would love if you would do us a favor. If you go to linktap.go/thedumbshow, you'll recognize that I'm on the fourth down. There is a donation page to PayPal. It helps out if you can give us anything you can. It helps keep the show funded. It keeps us going, and we'll always keep it free. Not necessary to watch, but is appreciated. Thanks for watching. We won't do a commercial tonight, but you go over to thedumbshow.com, pick up some shirts and hats. Liv, say goodnight to everybody.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and I think everybody's in the house. So good night. See you then. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.